deuce to seven Drawmaha. So now that you get the hang of triple draw deuce to seven, let's bring it back to Drawmaha deuce to seven. Another flop variant similar to Drawmaha High. It is split pot, but not high hand. High hand, it's a high flop, but low draw. You're going for low in your hand, high on the Omaha board, which produces a very cool effect because most Omaha games, they're binary. They're either very high or very low. Like 08, Omaha 8 or better, everybody's going for ace deuce and backing into a high, versus with PLO, everybody's like super high. And Drawmaha deuce is one of the few games where actually like the middle is the nuts most often. Like deuce to seven hands in general tend to produce middling kind of hands. And so there's going to be a lot of action between the cards of like 5 to jack, right? There's just a lot of stuff happening there when you get those flops. So kind of interesting. Similar to Drawmaha High, everybody's going to bet on the deuce to seven hand in their hand first before there's a flop. Then you're going to bet on the Omaha High flop with the low cards, hopefully low cards in your hand. And again, you're going to draw between the flop and the turn. You have to slow that dealer down because they're just kind of primed once they get out of those bets to rip off a turn card. If they do, you're going to have to back that up and reshuffle it back in because people didn't declare their discards, and that's going to change their decision. So you have to slow that dealer down. So let's look at a hand from the flop onward and see how people are behaving as they discard and improve on their deuce to seven hand and the Omaha hand. So as we discussed, the 5-10 jack flop is going to produce some fireworks, especially with suited diamonds out there. And just as we're seeing, we have a made queen low, but especially with the open-ended straight draw and the 10-7 of diamonds for the flush draw, this guy is all over it. Now, notice they would have a bigger wrap if they kept the queen, but that would actually weaken their low hand. So he's going to go ahead and draw. And that's one of the really interesting things about this game is you would break a made hand. A queen can win sometimes, but when there's two people left to act behind you and you don't even know if they're drawing yet, you have to draw to the smoother 10. And he's still got a lot of things working for him. If we look at the smooth jack, he could keep two pair jacks and fives, which a lot of people would. You don't get the opportunity to draw to a 7 in single draw Drawmaha that often. So this guy is going to choose to ditch the jack and to draw to the smoother hand. Either way is probably correct, especially if that person's drawing in front of you. The last thing you want, though, is to go ahead and stay pat with the jack and have that person stay pat behind you. But you never know. Maybe they have jack 10 two pair and they're just whole buckling up with two pair and the jack 10 low. You just never know. But if two people have drawn in front of you, maybe this person would keep the jacks and 5 two pair and the jack 7 low and just hope for the best. The last hand, again, has another open-ended, has 8-9. But notice in their hand, they have a gut shot. A 7 makes them a gut shot in their hand. They don't want to make the straight there because, again, that is not a low hand. Even though 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 would be a low in ace to 5 low ball, in deuce to 7 it is not. It is a straight to the 9, and it cannot even beat 3 of a kind in the low department. So ideally, he gets a 7 on the turn to give him the nut straight in the Omaha and catches a lower card. And remember, ace is not a low card. So all of those get ditched. Let's see the turn. So we do the turn first, so it never changes. And then we go ahead and produce the draws. We flip them over one by one, and we see that everybody kind of made a little something with this. So our 10-9 draw ended up making a straight with the 7-9. If you remember, he had the queen. He would have the nut straight to the queen, but now he still has a straight, the second nut straight, and he's got a good low. The person drawing to the smooth 7, not that smooth as 7, but a 7's a 7 in single draw, got a different jack. So he's got the smooth jack. Jack 7 is pretty darn smooth. And he's got the two pair jacks and 5. Probably not loving either side of his hands. But that's the thing about Drawmaha deuce. He might just find a call to hope to win half somewhere. And Up top, they did not hit that gut shot for the 7 in their hand. They made deuce. That's the best card they can catch on the low side, so they have a 9-8 low. So they're going to go ahead and win the low, and let's see what comes off on the river. So that 5 of clubs is an action card. The made 9-8 low up top backed into a runner full house, 5 full of 8s. Our 10-9 low down below that had the straight on the turn improved to a 9 high flush. We know that's no good. It does beat the 7 high flush above him. And what's interesting is that character who was drawing to the 7 low was probably disappointed by the jack that he caught for the low side, but 5 full of jacks is actually going to earn the high side. And this happens a lot with Drawmaha deuce of 7, since the absolute nuts are hardly ever out there for the low side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and often not for the high side, since people aren't drawing often to the ace high flushes or top fulls with pairs in their hands because they're going low. You have all these middling hands battling it out for half the pot, hoping to scoop, and it makes for a very exciting game.